We are live. It is Tuesday, September the 28th, 2021. Welcome to NasCanucks, presented by Vibraprint. For all your custom printing solutions, use coupon code Canuck and save 10%. I'm your host, Ben. This is Doug. We're talking Vegas. We're talking Long Beach season finale. We're talking the last race to get into the playoff. No, first race of the playoffs for the Xfinity.
Yes.
First race of the round of 8 for the Cup guys? No.
Yes.
Yes.
No.
No.
12.
There
12.
we are.
16 to 12. There's 4. 4, 4, 4, 4.
Right. And the trucks are like 3 races from the end of the season, apparently, because they only race twice in October.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Which I noted. They run Talladega on the 3rd, Martinsville on the 30th.
Yep. And some news coming up. Some driver
news.
Xfinity driver news. Xfinity track news.
Yes. And new Toyota truck Tundra body looking. I'd like to see next year's trucks by the other manufacturers, because guess what? If they don't have them, you think KBM's competitive this season, boy? Look out. So, getting right into it. Yeah, we had, 4 races to cover this weekend, because the ARCA West race wasn't televised.
No.
In Canada. It
No.
might have been televised in the U.S., but hey, we're not there. We're here. So, starting off with the trucks, the round of 8 continues.
And
was it the last round? No. Yeah.
8.
One more.
Yeah.
I don't.
They have these 2 races in the final race.
Right. Yes.
And they started off a theme for the Friday, Saturday at least.
Yes.
Being, sorry, Keith, I had family duties a little earlier. It was like, I think I messaged you about like 6 o'clock going like, oh, crap.
Yeah.
I'm not going to be home at 8 o'clock.
Yeah. And hey,
So,
Keith. Hey, Terry. Apparently, if you were in the truck series running, if you're trying to run for a title,
you didn't want to.
No, you didn't. No, you did not.
Because I think by the end there was only 3 playoff drivers in the top 20.
Yes, and the 3 that were running basically.
Yes. Yeah.
Nemechek had some kind of ignition issues intermittently, which was sorry to see. There was a wreck that took out a third of the playoff drivers right there. Sheldon Creed had some issues earlier in the race, which put him further back in the pack. And Chandler Smith really wished Sheldon Creed didn't have any issues earlier in the race.
Yes.
Because that was a hard T-bone.
But as we always say, Mr. Creed, what did you say last week? Oh, yes. You knew who the fastest truck was. Not this week.
Nope.
Not at all.
No. Jesus. Yeah.
He may have had the hottest truck.
Yeah.
Because he
was
on fire.
A theme that started multiple themes in a way, because we had non-playoff drivers winning races without giving away spoilers.
Yep.
And teams sweeping the podiums.
Yep.
With a variety of circumstances and wrecks throughout the race, it came down to, there was 3 ThorSport trucks that were competitive. And then there was Johnny Sauter that said, hey, don't we have an extra set of tires? And they're like, but Johnny, you're not competitive. There's only 5 laps when we take the green. What's the point in spending $4,000 on a set of tires? And he said, hold my beer. I'll show you. Because he was picking up 5 spots a lap on a track that didn't have a lot of tire fall off, but
no,
he was out there qualifying in traffic, essentially, is what he was doing, which kind of sucked for our Canadian boy, Stuart Friesen, because Stuart was up to 2nd, down to 4th, up to 2nd, but flirting with 3rd, which, if you haven't seen, the guy's averaging 3.16 average finish in the playoffs, which is why he's in the hunt without winning stages and such. So another good run by Stuart Friesen, was what I'm saying. He's above the cutoff line.
Finished 6th.
I think he finished 6th. Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought 5th, but 6th, sure.
I think it was 6.
Who was the Eckes?
Christian Eckes was the leader of the first ever one team taking the top 4 spots.
Right.
First time
right.
ever. Thor Sport.
Yep. Didn't keep the flag.
No.
I was surprised. Which I noticed a theme. They show that in Cup and Truck. Xfinity, they don't even see the guy getting the flag. Because, I've been keeping as I threw Gregson under the bus over that. But apparently Gregson's had to come to Jesus moment during the season.
Mm-hmm.
They were discussing that during the race, which was good to hear that he... Way to come to the program, Noah. Way to come to the program.
Mm-hmm.
He realized if he wants to run for a title, not to skip ahead, but I shouldn't wreck everybody because he found out your wife's real.
Yeah.
And it's going to bite him in the ass otherwise. So
Yep.
he's like, whoa, I'm not Joey Logano.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not Austin Cindric. No, you're not. But yeah, so Christian Eckes wins the truck race.
Yeah. Rhodes second, Crafton third. Then it was Sauter fourth. Forget who finished 5th, and then Mr. Friesen in 6th.
Right. Which was interesting. I thought that was funny. Mikey with the one comment during the race, he's like, you know what Friesen was doing Saturday night last week? What? We're in a dirt race. They paid him $53,000 in cash. So I asked, what do you do with all that money? And he replied, I put it in the bank. Dumbass.
Wow. Shocker.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's why you run short tracks on your nights off.
Mm-hmm.
So, yes. So getting into the Xfinity series, which was basically, it was doubleheader, wasn't it?
No, they ran Saturday. They ran Saturday.
Right.
Saturday night.
Right. So Xfinity ran, and like say opening race of the playoffs, apparently.
Yep.
I really don't like NBC's playoff. Like, it's bad enough, those of us that don't have the best color definition, that, hey, let's make half them bright green, half bright yellow. They look the same in the standings, truck series. Mm-hmm. As opposed to ESPN, well, we have lines under everybody, but one's a slightly different shade than others.
Oh, red, yeah. I was like, well, what the hell?
Like, the red, I understand, you're out. But the green/yellow, no. Use blue, like primary color. Never green and yellow. They look the same on half the TVs.
Yep.
Dumbasses.
So that was off the start then too. It was like what, Jeb Burton. I forget who else was all involved.
There was,
in that wreck.
That was an old school wreck. Where a wreck on a 1.5-mile track that collects 8 cars.
Although, really, when we first seen it, all we seen was smoke because they had a lovely view from behind the billboards.
Well, there's that.
Yeah.
So, unfortunately, Jeb Burton got taken out. He's in the playoffs, right?
He is, yes. Yep.
Some others had some issues. I'm trying to think who else.
Harrison
Burton was kind of on the pace, off the pace.
Yep.
And then he had some issues. Ty Gibbs was not dominant. He was up there.
Yeah.
But he was not dominant.
Finished second in stage 2.
He did.
I think he even finished off at the top 10, did he not?
Yep. Dinger was up front quite a bit during the race.
Yeah, he had a stage win.
I think, did Cindric get a stage win as well?
I want to say no, but I could be wrong.
He was definitely more competitive this week.
Yes.
Which, I think it's going to come down to the 16 and the 22 in many ways, right?
Oh, for sure.
And as much as it pains me to say, because, fortunately, karma, he had 2 issues during the race, but he still damn near won it. Noah Gregson.
Yep.
I didn't listen to his interview. I was fast forwarding and I saw a lot of this while he's talking. I don't know if he's looking for a friend.
Apparently there's like cue cards up top that he's looking.
2 teleprompters, maybe.
Yep.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah. And he clearly hasn't had a haircut all season because they showed his little driver card thing. He's got like brush cut. I'm like, you don't have Cindric's haircut anymore. And Cindric shouldn't have Cindric's haircut either.
Yeah.
looks like a dumbass.
Yeah.
So, yes. So we ended up with another dominant fashion because the super sub. Hey,
let's hear it. Let's hear it.
Should be unemployed.
Let's hear it.
Josh Berry.
There you go. Finally get his name right.
With a huge cheering section out of Martinsville, Virginia this weekend, because apparently there was a huge late model race that he was supposed to be in and usually wins in Martinsville this week.
Well, he was he was the defending champ.
Yeah. So, he's filling in for a still recuperating Michael Annette, which, Doug, this is starting to smell a lot like Casey Kane's recovery.
Well, yeah, because he was supposed to, when they first said, the broken femur, he was going to be back within, 4 weeks. I'm like, yeah, whatever.
But he was driving with a broken femur. He drove a race with it broken already. So it sounded like, it was just your little, test and tune minor surgery during the off week, which is now carried on now into well over a month. And it's just like, you know what?
And we do know
that's going to be back.
Well, we do know that Barry, Sam Mayer, Gregson, and Allgaier are signed for next year.
Right.
I'm not sure what the status is.
What's up, Dan? Basement Guitar Superstar.
You're not that late. You're only 10 minutes late. But yeah, so he's driving his ass off.
Granted, they still have his name. Oh, I noticed his name is still on the car, and I'm sure you can refresh my. I saw a lot of drivers with Deckel's number 12 on right at the front of the window.
Yeah, I'm not. Oh,
who's that related to? Was that Dan Weldon?
No. Round to 12.
Oh. But it was on. I thought I saw it on more than one series.
Okay.
It's right where your rearview mirror would usually be on the car.
Yeah.
It looks like it was a tribute of some kind.
Okay.
But the weird part, because it's in a Penske font. It looked like the Penske 12. And I was like, something happened to Blaney I'm not aware of? What's going on? So I'm not too sure on that. Also, shout out, driving the 31, Ty Dillon.
No, as you said, you got that second in stage 2 and then a top 10 in the 31. So that is, I want to say, is that Jordan Anderson's car?
I
believe it. I think it is, because Jordan was slated to drive himself, but then he was like, I can get these other guys in. He's been doing some truck races, and he's good on him for having the.
Yes, I have some on that Basement Guitar Superstar.
Good on him for having the wherewithal to say, hey, you know what? These other guys are pretty damn good drivers.
Yeah.
Let me put that in the car.
Yep. And they mentioned, they're like, Ty, he had a part-time deal with Gibbs early this year, did nothing with it. I was like, woo. Then I started thinking to myself, where is Ty Dillon going to go? And I thought of it kind of, in a sense, I'm thinking out loud here, kind of furthers our conspiracy about him and the family, because I'm surprised he hasn't ended up at Colleague Racing.
More on that later on.
Yeah, and Colleague, because they were talking about the brand new car that I think Dinger was driving that was built by Childress. Childress chassis, Childress body, but then it's a Colleague race car. I'm like, no, you just bought a car. You're not building squat. So, Colleague Racing, was it Haley that won the race?
No, it was JRM, Junior Motorsports.
Oh, it was Junior, right.
1, 2, 3.
Right, Josh Berry.
With Josh Berry.
Right. I believe Allgaier was second and Gregson third.
Gregson third, yeah.
Right.
Yep.
What happened to the 8, Mayor?
I'm not sure.
Yeah. What's your deal? Just saying. So, it was great to see Josh Berry with his second win. Now he's got a short track and an intermediate under his belt. So he's set for Talladega.
Yep.
Sure. So, and that was, nothing wrong with Josh Berry winning.
No, not at all. Not at all.
Yeah. So that brings us into Sunday.
Sunday, and which all of the shenanigans, I'm going to say, started earlier in the week.
Well, I'm actually going to dip into the first race of Sunday, which was the season finale for the IndyCar series.
Okay, yeah, and then we'll talk about the shenanigans in the Cup Series.
Yes. So what should have been, or is usually right near the start of the season, Long Beach, was postponed till the end of the season, Long Beach. Great to see last race of the year, 28 cars in the field. I know I keep harping on this, but for years, 22, 23 cars by the end of the year. Largely by a month after Indy, it's down to that many. So for 28 cars out there, which was awesome, we came down to the title. It's more or less down to two guys, Pat O'Ward and Miguel Pilot.
Yep.
Dixon had a chance, but he had to have everything line up correctly, and it didn't. So pretty good. Some early stupidity. One guy got tagged by, I think it was Alex Jones, took him out. I think that's his name. I don't know. But Jimmy Johnson, competitive. I noticed Jimmy's got rid of the gray beard, Doug. He's back doing the old Grecian formula. He's looking much younger.
Mm-hmm.
And it was interesting because they were talking about his teammate, and I can't remember the teammate's name, sorry, but like Jimmy was doing a lot of press this season, obviously. And especially the last race of the season. And his teammate would actually go to Jimmy's press conferences and just to watch how Jimmy handled the press. Actually, it might have been Miguel Pilot that was doing it. Yeah, it was Miguel Pilot. Duh. More on him later. And, just seeing the way Jimmy handles reporters and how to handle the pressure of running for a title. He's, picks his brain and stuff. And Jimmy's more than happy to pass that stuff along. So we get into the race and, we did have, I keep forgetting there's a second Canadian in the field, Kellett, because he always finishes like last.
Mm-hmm.
But Hinch, still running for a guy who retired years ago. He's still out there. And somehow he always ends up like at Andretti Autosport. Like he's not even with like Bubbaloo Racing,
Yeah.
Like,
yeah, he still gets the good ride.
Yeah. Well, not anymore. So Colton Herta, the California kid, because he's from California, wins the race again. So he sweeps California for the last two races of the year. Unfortunately, he sucked the pouch earlier this year, so he didn't win the title. Miguel Pilot won the title for Ganassi's, 59th title in the series. So Jabba the Hutt was there, all looking melty and standing next to the trophy, accepting it. I'm like, yeah, whatever. You do. You just spend money. Go away. But, yes. And then we'll get into the big, or I could do the big news now, I guess.
Sure, what the hell?
Okay, Andretti Autosport. Ryan Hunter-Reay leaving Andretti after that race. After, was he there for like 20 years, it seems?
Yeah.
DHL is still on the car. I can't remember who's taking over the ride. Hinch is also out at Andretti, which I think Hinch might have been driving Marco's car, come to think of it, towards the end of the season. Because remember, Marco was basically, he was there, and then the season's about to start, and he goes, you know what? I'm just going to be a test driver and run Indy. And everyone was like, wait, what?
Mm-hmm.
Like that was almost like a Carl Edwards move in many ways. Like, yeah. Marco was still a little young, left a few years on the table there. McLaren / McLaren Arrows, which is weird because competing, Formula One enterprises in the past, McLaren is increasing their ownership stake to 75%. So they're really in. There's a ton of parity this year. Well, yeah, they all run the same cars. I hope so. Actually, the biggest thing is the engines, right? You get two engines if they're relatively similar in power. And I'd like to see the push to pass entered into NASCAR.
I think they have flirted with the idea.
Yeah.
But
talk about getting a run at Talladega. Block this, Joey. Pull out 75 horsepower. I like to be out front. And then, whoo, there goes Joey through the grass.
Mm-hmm.
One of those ones where, the guy takes him out and he doesn't even let off and the whole field just keeps going. And then Joey's doing 23 victory rolls down the backstretch. Mm-hmm. Just like, he likes to go fast. Yeah. That and the alternate tires would be kind of cool. Like those tires that Mikey was testing for the All-Star race, the blue wall tires. Let's throw every team a set or two of those during a race. Just,
Yeah.
Oh, you didn't get the fuel mileage. You got to do the gas and go with 5 to go. Might as well grab 2. Throw a couple blues on the right sides while you're in there. And drop your lap time by a couple of seconds. That and get rid of the stages. Yep. Evidence of why you got to get rid of stages, Doug. It used to be, even like, I don't know, K&N series. They had pit crews and pit stops. Now, ARCA basically doesn't have pit stops. Trucks only get pit stops if they're at the races with the Cup teams. The stupid stage racing, they realized Xfinity hadn't done a green flag pit stop in 6 races. What's up with that?
Yeah.
It's either that or put smaller fuel cells in the bloody Xfinity cars. So they got to do a pit stop every stage.
Yeah.
Because that's what we did. We got smaller fuel cells in the Cup cars because of the Gatorade duels.
True, yes.
In the duels, which used to be 125s, went to 150s based on the size of the fuel cell.
Yep.
So, yeah, because I think it was the last year they did it. Dale Jarrett's like, you know what? I'm going to run 3/4 throttle the whole race, and I'm not pitting. Like, you can't do that. But I did.
Yeah. Well, exactly, yeah.
Yes. So, looking forward to IndyCar's, I want to say 17 race schedule, including the return of Toronto on the track in theory next year. Because let's be honest, everything's in theory these days.
No, for sure.
Which brings us into the first of the round of 8. Did we discuss?
Round of 12.
Round of 12. Right.
Round of 12. So, like I said, shenanigans started earlier in the week.
Right.
The Stewart portion of Stewart Haas.
Yes.
Up to his old tricks in the playoffs, putting out on social media a picture of a driver signing an autograph for a little kid, and they kind of said Kevin Harvick talking with Chase Elliott, kind of throwing that stuff in there, just kind of putting that out. And it was from Stewart Haas itself. Then Harvick doing his interview and saying, you know what. Talking with Chase kind of felt like I was being at home because it felt like I was talking to a 9-year-old because he was focused on one thing. He couldn't he was tunnel visioned on that one part. He couldn't see the whole picture. It was just, but you took me out. But you
do it every week, Chase. But you took me out. Yeah, well, like you say, Chase would be a great driver at Penske. Is what I'm saying. Because his shit don't stink. Nothing he ever does is his fault.
Yep. So, and I think watching the end of that race, I think it did get into his head a bit. But we'll get into that a little later on why I think he did that.
Chase better be damn lucky he didn't enter the sport 10 years earlier. Because he would have had his ass handed to him by now, physically.
Oh, for sure. Yep.
Because Harvick would have been a little younger and a little angrier. You got Clint Boyer. You got Ryan Newman, who was still much more fired up. And just as wild card, you could have a Jeff or a Jeff kick your ass too. And neither one of those looked like they would ever fight anybody until we saw them fight each other. And we're like, what?
It's a lot of pushing.
Well, yeah, it wasn't much of a fight. But first of all, when they said, and Jeff Burton and Jeff Gordon are pushing each other, and we're like, the two nicest guys in the sport?
Yeah.
That'd be like Richard Petty and Dale Jarrett getting into each other.
Exactly. Yeah. But with those two guys, the cameraman did have to go down a bit because we were just getting the overhead shot of those two. Yeah.
And sadly, that was from an in-car shot, too.
Yeah. So we got started the race, 2 cars.
Yep.
Back of the bus being William Byron and Truex. You gotta stop this. This is behind the 8 ball.
The 2 most likely teams to fail inspection.
Yeah.
Yep.
But
so I'm always shocked when Chase Elliott actually starts in his starting spot.
Oh yeah, for sure. But
they don't even announce anymore. Yeah. Oh, what's going? Oh, that's just Chase moving to the back. Don't worry about it.
But
not a full field.
Truex was able to overcome that issue. Yeah. Byron just kind of compounded the rest of his day just sucked.
He was off the whole race. Yeah.
No.
I will like to see, speaking of parity or lack thereof, the Cup Series is getting less parity by the week, it seems.
Yes.
Like we're getting half the field down laps by, like not right away. It's not like ARCA where they drop the green and half the field drops a lap.
Yeah.
But definitely less competitive, and I think you're only going to see that more and more with the charter system, which I came to the conclusion watching the race this weekend. If I was starting a team, I'm going Xfinity racing, and that's where I'd stay.
Yeah.
If I'm not running ARCA, because stages. Hey, Guitar Man 45. So, basically, a lot of the usual suspects that we kind of figured on, we're figuring in. Like you had mentioned, we had mentioned both the Busch brothers.
Yeah. Which congrats on them for what starts 750 for Kurt, starts 600 for Kyle.
Yep. Yeah. Not too shabby.
And to do that at your home track.
Very cool. Denny Hamlin, he was competitive. Penske cars weren't competitive.
No.
Like Ryan Blaney was kind of up there at the early, but that's Ryan Blaney. Like his dad, would be up there at the start of a race type thing. I don't recall Logano's name being mentioned once.
Not that often, no.
No. Actually, the Fords in general, right? Like Harvick was kind of flirting around a bit. And my God, I don't know who came up with that paint scheme, but that was just, I'm like, is that Interstate Batteries puked on the Harvick car? Like,
was it not Subway?
Was it?
It was Subway,
It was just bright Dayglow green with graphics breaking up. I couldn't even tell. It was just.
It was a Subway car.
Yep. You're definitely going to see him in your mirror.
Yep.
Yeah.
So really, not much happened until.
Well, there was the fabricated drama because Chase had to go to the back, and then he worked his way up through the field again. Yeah. Ooh. Who cares?
Then there was that big wreck, the scary one with Joey Gase getting that back, losing that back tire.
And then it was that a hub because they never really said, did the hub break or loose lug?
They didn't. Didn't really say.
It was an entire wheel that came off, and it didn't look like the axle came out with it. So maybe the axle broke near the hub.
Yeah.
And the way he hit, I was thinking because the way it backed in, because that corner would have been so much lower. That if the right rear hits the fence first and it's tilted up, it probably just kind of skidded it up. Because for a sec, I thought he flipped over.
Yeah,
he tried.
Well, and as we talked about off here, that at Vegas, that's the same. Dan Weldon was coming out of 1 into 2, kind of in that middle area. Gase was just beyond that, where where Weldon had his wreck, where
But
we know what happened there.
That wasn't a track angle fault like Gateway was back in the day. That was having the fence on the outside of the posts problem. Which I kind of get in a way, but you don't do it that way. Because if it starts breaking things, the idea was it would turn into a big net, essentially, as opposed to pinch point if the fence is on the inside of the poles. But you can't have that because cars end up in the fence and bad things happen. That was a bad day. So, trying to think.
Then it just became another.
Guys, flipping around the lead and stuff. But
what I hear, 21 lead changes, 1 caution, other than the stage breaks. 1 caution being for the Gase accident.
Right. Yeah. Other than that, wasn't. It wasn't so much issues per se. And Larson, we should mention, he was up there quite a bit.
Yeah, and then the Hendrick cars all went, let's just pit because we're gonna hope we're gonna catch a caution, which never came.
They had to pit.
Well, there was all because they were talking with Bowman's crew chief. They tried to make a strategy. They tried to do some strategy. Them and I think Larson's team as well tried to bank on some strategy that never. Vegas doesn't have cautions, so don't try and bank on a caution.
Yeah. So it came down to who won the race.
So it came out of Denny and Chase. So Chase
Right.
was catching Denny, and that's what I'm thinking, that the Harvick thing. He's like, oh, I can catch Denny. I'm gonna show Harvick because I'm gonna get a win. And then those last few laps, he was getting that time down. Denny started overdriving the turns.
Right.
Put him back. So I think that, trying to get I'm going to show you.
Yeah.
You're not showing anybody.
No.
And he broke up, so JGR finishing 1-3-4.
Right.
So
yeah, Denny advances into the next round. And then news. We should get into news then.
Yeah, so a bunch of news. Cup stuff first. Harvick penalized for a lug nut at the end of the race. So Rodney Childers is out next week. Yep. And in becomes the super sub. Greg Zipadelli will be in the crew box. That's a penalty that hurts.
Yeah.
No.
I think still the best was that for suspended crew chiefs. Junior with the Budweiser car. Yep. We're suspending Tony Jr. He goes, fine, I'll just put Tony Sr. on the box.
Yep. Yeah, and other Cup news, Ganassi, their headquarter building is sold in Concord.
Yes, to Hendrick.
Well, no. A numbered company.
Yeah.
That's the exact name. It's the exact number as one of the Hendrick companies.
Yes. Yeah, whereas it was first reported as the same mailing address.
Yeah.
I was like,
yeah.
No. I was like, they're about 5 miles from each other. They're close.
Well, the limited liability company that purchased the building is the same mailing address as Hendrick Motorsports.
Right.
Same as the Hendrick Automotive Group in Charlotte.
Right.
Okay. The other side of the Papa Joe Hendrick Road as the Hendrick shop.
Behind the trailer park.
Yep.
They always try to be so corporate. It's like, yeah, but you're next door to a trailer park.
Yeah.
And I could see it, because I was going to say that building, I can't see Trackhouse wanting that building. Like, it's a nice building, but they don't need that much building. Like, Look at the huge gift shop. Nobody's going to Trackhouse Racing buying souvenirs yet.
No.
Hey, Tom.
The only thing I could see for anyone with that there is
to the airport.
Oh, I was just going to say, you're right at the airport.
You're right at the airport.
You're right at the airport. Yeah. So there's that.
Yeah, I'm just thinking, like, in that building, when it was built, there was a short period of time, I believe, that Ganassi was also running his IndyCar program out of that building. Like Penske did that briefly. They had everything in North Carolina, and then they moved everything back to Indy.
Well, when you go to look at the shop, like, that's a whole big shop for a 2-car team.
Yeah, you can clearly see where it's missing the Xfinity series. Well, even when we went, because there was Xfinity still there.
Actually, yes, there was, yes.
So there was
that 42 car behind you was there.
4 cars basically out of there, 4 teams. And yet, it was still spacious enough that, I could see where the Indy cars ran out of here, too.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, right at the airport, Tom. Like, you walk in the building. If you walk through the building at the back of the building, you're looking at the airstrip.
You're at the airstrip.
Yeah. Which I would think Roush has got to be right around there, too, isn't he? It's weird because every road, folks, it's weird because everything's a winding little road that's very tree-filled, and all of a sudden you turn a corner, you're like, oh, we're here. And Roush is one of those
deals. If
I'm not mistaken, I think Roush is right up the road, because it was like you pulled out of Ganassi, you drove up the road to Roush.
Yeah, and right across the street is the R&D Center.
Yes. Well, actually, the R&D Center is just before. That's right. Because, you had to drive by the R&D Center.
Yep. So then Xfinity news is 2022 new track on the schedule.
Yes.
Possibly. It's being reported, so we'll find out. Okay. But as the way NASCAR goes within the next few days. I'm going to guess
it's not Kentucky.
It is not Kentucky. Not Kentucky. Going north. Northwest to be exact. Portland, Oregon on the schedule for 2022.
Portland. Really? Well, that's a cool road course. So what's getting dropped?
I'm not sure. I'm just reading.
Because I'd imagine they're going to drop a road course.
Yeah.
And I would think it would be Road America because it's such a long track. But now that the cup's there,
Mm-hmm.
I can't see them dropping Xfinity.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And that
So
way, because I was thinking, because traditionally Xfinity would always run one or two road courses that nobody else ran.
Mm-hmm.
Like they ran, didn't they run like Barber for a few years or New Jersey Motorsports Park type thing?
Something like that, yeah.
Which I think New Jersey Motorsports Park might have become Barber. No.
Mm-hmm.
Trucks ran New Jersey. Trucks also ran at a road course in Kansas.
Yeah, so then the other news is we talked about earlier, the seat at Colleague Racing has been filled.
Yes.
Not Ty Dillon.
Not Ty Dillon.
Daniel Hemrick moves over from the 18 over to the.
I'm going to guess hearing him referred to as a veteran.
Well, it's like he's a rookie with each team because it's like he's only there for a year. He's at Childress for a year, goes to JGR for a year.
Well, now he's over to Colleague. Even they're like former Cup driver. I'm like, oh right, he did have a cup of coffee.
Yep.
So yeah, Daniel Hemrick leaving the 18 and going to, I presume, the 11.
I'm going to say the 11. Yeah.
Interesting. Yep. Interesting.
Trying to think what else. Cup Series. We kind of touched on this off air. There's been one driver in the Cup Series that's been in the one playoff driver has not had an issue, either a penalty off the start or just an issue on the track.
Michael McDowell. No.
Yeah. He's had a lot of issues. Yeah. One guy, and it's one guy who you're going to say, really? But yeah, it's been
out of the 12 that are still running.
Yeah, he is still running, yes.
See, the obvious answer is Larson, but it's not Larson.
No, because he had an issue last week.
That's right.
This weekend.
Harvick had his issues with Chase.
Yep.
Right, Keselowski?
As Mr. Keselowski, he's not had an issue with the car.
He also hasn't had a decent finish.
Well, exactly, yeah. But he hasn't had an issue with the car.
Enough.
Hasn't been in a wreck.
Yep.
Not allowed to go to team meetings. Whatever, right?
Yeah, he doesn't care. He's already putting in time over Roush.
But how are you not having an issue with TJ Majors as your spotter?
Maybe that's why he's not. He just. Oh, my earbud fell out.
Yeah, maybe.
Interesting. Yeah. I'm trying to think any other news I had heard.
I haven't heard much at all.
Oh yeah, I was going to mention the new Tundra. It was teased during the Cup race. They did one of those commercial during the race. Here's a message, and it's silly little Ocean's 11, which I assume that's two of the KBM drivers. I didn't even know it. They're young, so they're young. One of them might have been John Hunter Nemechek. I don't know. Mm-hmm. And then it's like they're trying to break into a garage, and all of a sudden and there's Kyle pulled up. He's like, "You just had to ask." But the interesting thing is, the trucks have very exaggerated fender flares, much like the Xfinity and Cup cars have. The trucks, by definition, are very sleek down the sides the last few years. But I noticed that it almost looks like a step-side box on it. And they got another step-side box for the trunk area, it seems like. It's very...
I don't know. I do not know if this is going to pick up right there.
Yes. Kind of. But that's also a street vehicle.
No, that's
a four-door. I can see door handles on it.
What's it say on the bottom there? 2022 Toyota Tundra.
I see what it says, but I'm telling you what it is.
But I'm just saying that's
yeah, it's similar to that. So yeah, interesting. So Chevy, I assume Ford. I don't even know if Ford still competes in the truck series at this point. Maybe Jennifer Jo Cobb. I don't know. Yeah. You guys are going to have to step up your game because Toyota is bringing it.
Well, here's side by side.
Yes. There we go. Here, I'm going to present you two. Yeah, you can see those lines over the wheel wells, folks. Those are it actually kicks out right there.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah. There we are then. So,
other thing, I was going to say it off the top of the show, forgot about it, but
yep.
Happy birthday, Ron Fellows, today.
Hey, happy birthday, Ron. Nice. He was in a race not too long ago.
Probably. He owns a track.
He was in a Pinty's race at Crappy Tire Motorsports Park.
He probably was there anyway, since he owns a track.
So if I ever want to race there, I love racing at Crappy Tire Motorsports Park. And they're like, what? People are like, wait, did he just say that? All the Canadian fans will be roaring, and the Americans are like, what's Crappy Tire?
Yeah,
is he calling it Goodyear? No. Nobody needs to tell you how crappy their tires are. We know. We see it every week.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. So other than that, where are we off to this week?
We are off to Talladega.
Right. That's right. Trucks too. All 3 series running. Or are they? Is Xfinity running? Because remember, for a while there, Xfinity was only running Talladega in the spring.
Let me see.
All right, who do you like in the Cup race at Talladega?
Let me get out the magic 8 ball for that, because it's whatever. Xfinity Series is running the Sparks 300 on Saturday, October 2nd.
Nice. So
Talladega Motor
you won't
Speedway.
see the 4 and the 9 pushing each other to the win.
No.
Ryan Blaney.
Good shot of that. Or let's see, could you see Ricky Stenhouse as a non-playoff driver winning?
Yep, you could. Did a non-playoff driver or contending driver win the Daytona race?
Yeah, the
shit show 500, 400 there a few weeks ago.
No, I think it was someone.
I'm sure it was somebody.
I'm sure it was someone.
It could have been a nobody.
Yeah.
We had nobody win the Daytona 500 this year, according to Doug.
Yeah. Well, we're not even going to get in that.
Why don't you give Ty Dillon a front row motorsports ride?
Yeah. Yeah.
Or again, I'm surprised. Colleague, 2311. Actually, yeah, I wonder, was 2311 looking at Ty, and then the way Ty performed in Xfinity in Gibbs equipment, Denny and Michael kind of went, you know what? We don't need to know where Ty Dillon is.
So Blaney takes the victory in the Daytona race.
Well, there we are then.
Yes.
Right. Which was his second win of the year. First time multiple wins in a year. Yep. Right.
Yep.
See, it all comes back to me eventually.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Who do you like at Daytona? Or Talladega? Or both?
I think I'm going to non-playoff. I'm going to say Stenhouse, because I think he's due for his one win. But
I wonder how much longer he's going to be in that ride.
I think Brad Doherty said he is in for next year. I think.
Weird having Brad in booth this weekend.
Yeah.
Because half time you forget Brad's even still working for NBC. Because I know he does shows during the week, but he's only on for a segment. He's on that token Dale Jarrett segment that they do.
How about the Xfinity Series race there?
How about Dale Jr. and Dale Jarrett not wear matching shirts when they're both named Dale?
Well, I was going to say the Xfinity Series there, where up in the booth, Rick Allen and Brad Doherty both stand up, and Burton's looking at their stomachs.
Oh, you mean the honorary point guard they had up there? He goes, hey, who are you calling point guard? And they went, really? And that's when they stood up.
Yeah.
Hey, sis. So, we're just about to wrap things up, pretty much.
Mm-hmm.
So, on that note, I think Colleague's gonna do well again as a organization.
I think you could see. I'm gonna say look for Allmendinger to take that win at
especially because they have no problem with. Oh, right, they have the plan.
The plan.
Maybe it'll work this time because Dinger said that wasn't the plan. We're like, it sure looked like the plan, but that wasn't the plan.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah. Trucks.
Yeah.
Stuart Friesen.
Good chance of that. Good chance of that.
Yep. There we are. Anything else?
I got nothing.
I'll tell you one thing I have not heard a word about in some time. Nothing about next year for the SRX.
Yeah, nothing, yeah.
They should be teasing stuff every week or two, a couple of weeks or something. Even if it's just a returning. Hey, guess what? Paul Tracy's coming back. And then the next week, guess what? Nobody else is coming back.
Yep.
So, there we are. Yeah, hey, Tom, you clued in eventually. Yeah, cubed.
Mm-hmm.
Cubed. There we are. So, I don't know. Anything else?
I got nothing.
I got nothing else either.
Got nothing.
So, that's it from the infield here, I guess. So, we'll see you in Talladega. He's Doug. I'm Ben. This has been NasCanucks presented by Vibraprint. Since we're wrapping it up 47 minutes in, please like and subscribe. Should have mentioned that.
It says it right there. So it's over there now.
The button's right down there.
Hit it. Bumps on the screen.
Oh.
Like Vibraprint is right there.
Right there.
And then like and subscribe is right there.
I'm doing it with the cursor. Nobody's seeing the cursor.
Yeah.
There we are. Yeah, we have been saying it there subliminally. So
yes. Yep.
He's Doug. I'm Ben. This has been NasCanucks.
See you, Marcus.